Now, the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has been speaking in Cairns, and we can bring that to you now.
I think President Biden has made the difficult decision to not seek re-election at the presidential election that will be held in November. As he's done throughout his entire time in public life, he has acted in what he considers to be the best interests of the United States of America. He is someone who in January will be able to retire from public life with an extraordinary record. It was one of my first events as Prime Minister was to travel to the Quad meeting that was held in Tokyo within days of my election in May of 2022. It was wonderful to reacquaint myself with President Biden, who I had met when he was Vice President under President Obama. And since then, we have had a number of meetings on the sidelines of international summits, but also during my official visit to the United States last year, where President Biden and Jill Biden were gracious hosts at an official state dinner, as well as us having dinner, the four of us with my partner Jodie Hayden and Mr and Mrs Biden in the West Wing. We also met with his entire cabinet just outside of the Oval Office, and it was a very gracious reception that President Biden hosted myself in recognition of the important relationship between our two great nations. The alliance with the United States was forged, of course, under another Labor Prime Minister, John Curtin, back during World War II, during our darkest hour. Since then, the United States has been our most important ally. President Biden has a record of engagement in the Indo-Pacific and increasing the relationship through AUKUS, which was, of course, finalised at the meeting that we held in San Diego also at the beginning of last year. The AUKUS relationship is just one aspect of the closeness between Australia and the United States. It's also been a period in which President Biden has presided over an increase in the economic relationship between our two great nations, but also the important cooperation that has taken place in climate change action. The Inflation Reduction Act is no doubt the most significant piece of legislation to reduce emissions introduced anywhere in the world. And in President Biden's legacy of support for the international rule of law, support for international human rights, support for the people of Ukraine in their struggle against aggression from Russia with its illegal and immoral invasion, but also President Biden's presiding over a recovery of the United States economy after the long legacy that COVID has left, but also the impact of that Russian invasion of Ukraine on international energy prices and on international inflation, has meant that he's presided over an economy that has seen jobs grow, that has seen wages increase, and that has seen the transition proceed that is occurring as the world moves towards net zero, as well as he's standing up on issues such as gender equality. President Biden has been a great friend of Australia, and that will continue, and I look forward to meeting with President Biden at the G20 and at the APEC summits that will be held later this year. President Biden deserves today, I think, to be recognised for once again not putting himself forward first, but giving his first consideration to being what he believes is in the interests of the United States of America, as he has done his whole public life, and I pay tribute to him today.